Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, proud of the effort of the kids. Overall, we put ourselves in a position to win in the fourth quarter and just didn't get it done. So congratulate Pitt. They've got a really good football team. Second half, we played as good defense as we've played all year. And, had our chances, but the defense gave us a chance. The offense was awful the first half, as bad as I've ever seen. Offensively, they came back and we did a better job of moving the ball, but we still get stopped on a couple of fourth downs and we don't make the 2-point play and drop a touchdown pass. I mean, it's just that part's very, very frustrating. I don't know why we can't put a whole game together and have both sides play well. Punting game was bad early. It put our defense in an awful spot with some short fields. But like I said, the first half offense was terrible. They adjusted and did some things. And then I should have gone for the 4th and 2 at the end, 4th and 3, because the way it ended up, the rain was really hard and put us in an awful position in overtime. You're on the road. The reason I didn't do it, I got talked out of it, but also we hadn't made 4th down and 3 or 4 or 2. But I still, looking back, I would have been better off going for the 4th down at that point.
Okay, if you have a question, please use the raise hand button. We'll get to you here in a second. And Luciano, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Your 2 of Pitt's touchdowns came after punt returns longer than 20 yards. How would you evaluate your special teams performance today, and how big of an impact would you say it had on the final outcome?
I think all the special teams were really good except for the 2 punts you mentioned. And one of them was from the 1-yard line, and it was not a very good punt, and we didn't cover it very well. And the second one was the same. So after that, we cleaned it up, and all the other punts were good. All the kickoffs were out of the end zone. All the field goals were made. We didn't have a chance to return a punt, but or we didn't do very well when we did. But special teams, the 2 you mentioned were bad. Everything else was good.
Andrew Jones, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, what adjustments did you guys make defensively at halftime, and what was the key to keeping them from moving the ball like they were in the first half?
Well, we played more sound. We just played better, Andrew, more than anything else. That's what we've been needing to do all year, and played with more confidence. The defense is the only reason we were in the game. If the defense hadn't played their hearts out the first half, it would have been a blowout. So, but Jay can talk to you about that on Monday. But I thought the defensive staff and the defensive kids did a good job tonight. I think they held them like 100 yards, and that was the only reason to think that we had momentum going into overtime, that we'd have a chance to stop them here. This game is so much like the one we had here 2 years ago, because we were behind, we came back, we tied it up, we went into overtime, and then lost on a 4th down play.
Not looking for a silver lining, but this is the 4th straight game your team has shown a lot of resolve. And is there something that with that you can actually build on moving forward, knowing that with Miami, Notre Dame last week and this week, you guys did something late to give yourselves a chance or win those games?
Yeah, Andrew, we're so much better football team than we were when the season started. It's not even close. And that's why we've got to do well in our last 2 games here and hopefully get to a bowl game. But we just need to keep getting better. The kids are trying hard. They hung in there together. They kept fighting. They didn't quit last week. They didn't quit at Miami when Miami went on a roll and scored 17-7 in the 3rd quarter. And then tonight they sure didn't quit, even though the offense weren't playing well. They played hard. Playing 3 ranked teams in 13 days, 2 of them on the road, had a chance to win all 3 games is disappointing that we only won 1.
Thank you.
Thank you. C.L. Brown, go ahead.
Mack, with you saying that you probably should have gone for it at the end of regulation, I mean, given the length of your career and everything, I don't imagine there are too many games where you kind of you would say that right after the game. I was just curious, like you said, you got talked out of it. How did somebody manage to talk you out of it?
Well, that's my fault. I can't get talked out of it unless I don't want to do it. And so I changed my mind If I'd have known it was going to rain like that, and put our kids in such a bad position, I sure wouldn't have waited.
And defensively, you guys limited Pickett to only 80 yards in the third and fourth quarter. What adjustments were made at halftime that, you know, was able to keep him in the box after the start he got off to?
Yeah, that's why Jay talks to you on Monday. We'll let him cover all that with you, because they did a tremendous job and they've been under fire all year, and they have struggled. And I think the biggest thing is we made plays. You know, we dropped an interception at the end of the game where we're still going to win with a last second field goal. We dropped a touchdown pass. We're still not making all the plays we need to make. 2 false starts when you're first and goal from the 2 with a little over a minute left. We've got to clean up all that stuff, and that's on us as coaches. But defensively, it shows hope moving forward, and a lot of guys had their best games tonight.
Okay, let's go to Gregory Hall.
Hey, Mack, what was the message to the team after the game? Obviously, you mentioned the issues offensively at the beginning, but then obviously the comeback at the end, and just didn't get it done, but still down 17-0 against one of the best offenses in the country.
Yeah, Greg, I always feel like I'm as honest as with you all as I can, and obviously very disappointed, and told them the same thing. I love their effort. I love their confidence. If they'll just keep fighting, we'll get where we want to go. And they never let up tonight. As bad as things were offensively, they didn't point fingers and they didn't yell at each other. They just kept competing, and defensively just kept getting better and better and better against one of the best quarterbacks and offenses in the country. And like I said, last week, the offense was the reason we won the game. The defense made a few stops in the end. Tonight, the defense would have been the reason we won the game, and the offense had to make a few plays. And they made the plays to get us back in the game. They didn't make the plays to finish the game.
How did you see the offense change, specifically Sam? Because, I mean, that offensive stretch there, which is consistently 3 and outs, it isn't something Sam's ever had to deal with. So how did you see the offense change and him kind of lead them to make the plays to come back?
Yeah, the first half, I thought it reminded me of Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech, which were really bad offensive performances. And then the second half, I thought they came back, and it wasn't going to be a good night offensively because it just kept having things happen time and time again. We'd have a chop block, which is great. We'd have a holding call. We'd have just time after time, something. And then we didn't make the 4th and shorts. If you can't make 4th downs and you go for it, it's going to be hard to win games.
Okay, Adam Smith, go ahead.
Mac, not to belabor the point about the end of the game and going for it or not going for it, but was part of your thinking there, you know, that you clearly had the momentum and things were headed in your direction, so you kick the field goal and go to overtime feeling like things are have fully shifted in your favor?
Yes, Adam, absolutely. You know, they weren't moving the ball at all. We were. So that's why we went for it. It's easy to sit here and second guess myself. But if I'd known it was going to pour the rain, it would have been more fair for the kids to take a one shot.
Did Sam say anything? It looked like, you know, he's just trying to keep his hands dry in overtime. You know, he's like rubbing them on his pants. I mean, was he saying it was impossible to throw?
Towels, and we tried to give them dry towels, but it was pouring. I mean, it was hard to hold the ball.
All right, Coach, that's all we have for you tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mark.